Hey everyone, my name is Michael Seiger and I'm the publisher of DomainSherpa.com, the domain name authority. My goal here is to interview a different domainer every week, find out how he or she built their business, learn about their experiences, learn about what worked, what didn't work, and take all of those ideas and tactics and hand them to you so that you can go out there and build an incredible domaining career yourself. Then you can come here and do what today's guest is doing, teach others how you did it so that they can go out and build a successful career. So let's get to the interview. Instead of buying and flipping domains, how can you build more value into the domain name portfolio you currently own by developing the domain names into mini sites? Joining me today to answer this question is Brian Diener, also known online as Teen Domainer. As you would expect, Brian Diener is a teenager. He turned 18 last year. He began domaining in 2006 when he was only 14 years old. In his relatively short domaining career, he has accomplished a number of great feats. He's developed a successful mini-site model for his business. He's had a $1,000 day through affiliate marketing. And he not only continued to study in school while domaining, but was accepted into Emory University this coming fall. Brian's also an accomplished long-distance runner, a sport that requires equal parts natural ability, dedication, intelligence, and strategy. His personal best, for those of you who are runners like me, are 4 minutes 46 seconds for the 1600 meter, which is almost equivalent to a mile, 10 minutes 12 seconds for the 3200 meter, and for those of you that run 5Ks, the weekend warriors, Brian can run a 16-minute, 34-second 5K. So first of all, welcome Brian, and thanks for doing the interview.
Thank you very much, Michael.
I have to start off the interview by talking about something really remarkable that I noticed about you, Brian. Many people, including myself, when we come to the end of the year, we make New Year's resolutions. You know, I think you can go online and search for statistics. Most people do not keep their New Year's resolutions. Probably 95, 99%, fail in New Year's resolutions. When it comes to business, most people have to write down their professional goals for the upcoming year only because they're required to do so by their boss at work. One remarkable thing that I noticed that you were doing is that you published your 2011 goals for domaining on your website. Not only that, you come back roughly monthly and you revisit what you're doing against those goals. Why have you done that?
I guess I really like posting them because it makes me accountable, and I wanted a way to be able to display them. And then each month now I can go back and see how am I doing against them and just update my readers, but also it's kind of an update of myself to see, am I performing, am I spending my time on what I've wanted to do this year? Not getting off on some side projects or some little things that really weren't my goals for this year.
And how do you feel you're doing so far?
I think I'm doing pretty well. I've accomplished, I think, a couple of them, and I'm really started on some other ones. So by the end of the year, hopefully I'll be able to say I accomplished almost all of my resolutions.
That's great. And I encourage all the domainers out there to do it yourself. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day buying and looking at the drop lists and going out and marketing, but it's really important to set goals for yourself so that you can think about what you want to achieve throughout the year. So I commend you on doing that. So let's start from the beginning. You discovered domain names when you were in your early teens. Tell me about that experience. How did it happen, Brian?
Well, I guess like a lot of other kids in middle school, I think I was in 7th grade, and I found myself on Google searching how to make money online or how to make money fast online, like a lot of kids do. And, you get the normal answers like babysitting, lawn mowing, working in a fast food restaurant. I really didn't like any of those. And somehow I happened to see something about selling domain names to people. And I thought, okay, this makes sense. I'm growing up. I love the internet and stuff. So I stumbled across namepros.com in 2006. And it all made sense to me. The internet I've basically grown up with the internet. My generation, we use the internet for almost everything. We go home, do homework, research, communicate with friends. It's all on the internet. So domain names made so much sense to me, and I just started reading, investing, buying some really bad names at first. But in one of the after a little while, I ended up flipping a name I hand registered for $350 after a few weeks. And that basically got me hooked. And then I just fell in love with the industry and kept reading, and it's basically gotten me where I am today.
Do you remember what that domain name was that you hand registered and flipped a few weeks later?
It was a law geo domain name. I forget what city because I registered a bunch of them.
So something like
I think it was
Law Albuquerque or Albuquerque Lawyers or something like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in North Carolina. I'm pretty sure some little city.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
But yeah, that was fun.
So, how many domain names do you currently own in your portfolio, and roughly how do they break out by TLD or category, however you break them out?
I own, I think, a little less than 150 right now, and I would have to say almost all of them must be .com. I would guess over 90% are probably .com, and then there's a few, one or two .nets, a couple .orgs, maybe one .info, and that's about it. No real country codes or anything like that.
So
I've looked at investing in that.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
go
just
ahead.
sticking to .com for now.
You're sticking with .com. You want the beachfront property. You aren't interested in getting a better word, but maybe having it on .net or .org.
Yeah, just sticking for now.
Okay.
I think there are definitely, though, opportunities in other extensions.
Great. So prior to the interview, I spent a lot of time reading your blog, getting to know you a little bit better. I noticed at the start of 2010, you had 15 mini sites. So you developed a domain. I'm going to ask you what a mini site is, but you had 15 mini sites up and running, and 14 of them you said were paying their own renewal fees, which is great. Some made hundreds of dollars per year, and the average site you said made $53. Tell us what a mini site is, and how do you take a domain name and make a mini site?
Basically, what I've done is I buy a lot of exact match product domain names, and then from there, install WordPress on it and put up however many articles, however competitive the name is in the search engines will depend on how many articles I put on it. But it'll usually be between 3 and 5 or 10 if it's going to start small. And then you do a little search engine optimization work. You put up some either AdSense or affiliate ads or eBay Partner Network ads, and then they rank in the search engines. And it works one way, you're getting paid, you're going to make money off advertising. And two, end users come to the site, and I put a link, you contact us on every site. And once in a while, end users contact you and say, hey, I'd like to buy the site. So it's drawing end users to the websites too.
Awesome. Okay, so let's dig into this mini site concept so that other domainers can understand what you're doing. So give me a few examples of these really specific domain names that you purchased that you'll make into mini sites. Can you name a few of the domain names?
German Wine Glasses is a developed mini site. I just bought runningorthotics.com. Bouldering pad, it's like a rock climbing thing that you put under when you're rock climbing, you fall on. Kids climbing harnesses. Just lots of super, generic but very specific, I guess, names that people search for.
Great. And they all seem to be pretty much 2-3 words, like GermanWineglasses.com.
Yeah, 2-3 words. It's hard to find, I guess, a lot of 2-word ones, but 3 words, it's kind of, they're not always registered, or you can buy them for cheaper.
Great. So you buy a domain name like GermanWineglasses.com because it's very specific. It has a decent number of exact searches on Google using their tool.
Yeah, I use Google's tool, Estebat's tool. I think all the more numbers you can look at, really, the better.
Great.
There's none of them, I guess, tell you everything you need to know, but it's just a base you can look at and judge things by.
Right. Great. So then you buy a domain name, and how do you set up the site? Do you have one web server that runs all the different mini sites that you have, or do you set up a new account at a virtual account at a host, or how do you actually handle the setting up of the WordPress site?
I have account at HostGator where you can do unlimited add-on sites, so it's all on one account.
Great. So you buy one account that costs you $10 a month or something?
Yeah, I think it's $10 a month or so.
And then you can set up as many WordPress sites on that account as you want.
Yep.
Great. And do they offer one of those easy to install instances, or are they all separate partitions, or are you running WordPress mini WordPress used to be they used to call
WordPress
it
MU, I think it's called.
Yeah, multi-sites, right? But now it's all wrapped into WordPress.
Yeah, so it's all separate installations of WordPress, and they run a super, I think it's called like Fantastico Deluxe or something, and it's basically 4 or 5 clicks, and you're set up.
Wow, that sounds really easy.
Yeah.
All right, so you take a domain name that's really good, and then you set up the website, and then you have a favorite theme in WordPress that you like to use across all your websites?
I actually have a program. It's called Artister, and basically it makes it really easy to create your own WordPress themes and customize them. It's super easy, like drag and drop kind of editor.
Huh. And how do you
So
spell
it's
that,
really
Brian? The name of that program?
it's Artisteer,
Great.
Artister, and it makes it super easy to create custom themes.
That's fantastic. So you create a different theme for every website to make it...
Yeah, you kind of judge it. Yeah, I mean, if it's a camping one, you know, you might make it green with some brown or something, or if it's a rock climbing one, you know, rock climbing colors, I guess.
Fantastic. And then once you have your theme, you say you write, I wrote down here, a few articles depending on how popular the domain or the searches are. So give me an example. Do you write more articles for domains that have higher search queries? And if it has a lower search query, then you write less articles?
If it's not quite as competitive, it's not going to need quite as much content, I guess, to get ranked highly.
Okay.
And if it has a lot of searches and a lot of longer tail searches that you want to capitalize on, you can write more articles and hopefully draw more traffic.
Great. And then who actually writes the articles that you'll put on these mini sites?
Sometimes I'll write them, or I've actually found some writers who write them for me.
And do you come up with the topics to write? Like you say, give me an article that is really general for German wine glasses, but then, you know, everybody likes multicolored wine glasses and they like to have them engraved. So I need an article for engraving German wine glasses, and I need an article for blue German wine glasses. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I send out all the article topics and stuff. So it starts broad, I guess, on the homepage, and then each little subpage would be more specific to capitalize on those searches too.
Fantastic. And how many words do you typically write per article?
It's normally, I've been experimenting with this actually. It's been kind of a big debate in my head. How many words do the search engines want? And I can't say that I have the answer. I mean, I've done anywhere from 250 to 700 words. I think 700 is excessive for most domains. I would say between 300 and 400 seems to be about the good spot.
Great. So you notice that you're climbing the search engine rankings well based on 300 to 400 words.
I mean, it hasn't been a huge difference, but some of my sites do better, and I can't tell, you know, was it SEO I did? You can't really, it's hard to tell, but I think it's because of the longer articles.
And I did a little bit of research before. You've got a lot of your mini sites that are ranked very well in Google organic search results. For example, GermanWineglasses.com, I checked the other day, and it was number 6 out of hundreds of thousands.